Good evening, welcome back to Frugal Outdoors with myself Dylan and
myself Nobby.
himself Nobby, Mr. Slamfish, Slamfishiow Wight. He's taking me out tonight. We are fishing in Sandown Bay. Now Nobby fished here very recently, had an amazing night session, so he's basically guaranteed me to get on the fish, haven't you, really, tonight? You basically said if I don't catch a fish tonight,
I've guaranteed you I'll catch a fish.
he's guaranteed me he's gonna catch a fish. Yeah. But we're gonna give it a go.
Fingers crossed one of us will catch a fish.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a go.
You know,
we got a really good tide.
Yeah,
hopefully what do you think the conditions are like? It's quite flat, isn't it?
Really? Well, you say that, it's not. Look at the light where between here and the boat. Look, it's not flat, it's nice.
It's pretty flat. He's bigging it up.
Can you hear it?
It's pretty flat. I can hear.
Then it's not flat, is it? Come on.
We're gonna get.
Why got argue with me all the time?
We're gonna get our gear together. We're gonna get down onto the beach. We'll go through our baits. We'll go through the rigs. Nobby's using my rigs again tonight, and yeah, hopefully we can get into a couple of fish. We'll be down on the beach to start with because it's low tide. But yeah, enough yakking. Let's get our gear sorted, and then we'll see you in a sec. Cheers. So there we go. Intro's all out the way. Now it's just a case of quickly chucking some rods together and hopefully getting into a couple of fish. So I'm fishing with my two Daiwas, my standard rods that I use all of the time. One is a tournament pro surf and one is a air surf. They're both 4 to 8 ounce and they're both 13'6", which is a little shorter. But I'm not exactly the tallest person in the world, and I feel, for me, they're okay. They certainly do the job. I'm pairing them up with my Shimano Power Aeros fixed balls. I am a fixed ball fisherman. I do get lots of comments about when am I going to have a go, when am I going to change and have a go with multis, and to be honest, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I'm quite happy and feel pretty comfortable using the fixed spools. So I'm probably going to have to keep my rod tips up a little bit here because it's quite a shallow beach. So we're going to be fishing the tide virtually all the way back up, and I think it's already pushing in. I've kind of tried to put myself in a position where I've only got to move once because it is a bit of a pain in the backside with all the gear. So I'm already, I don't know, probably 30 yards away from the sea. I can walk down, cast, walk back, and then as that tide pushes up, I should be able to move myself up to the top there. I've got enough line, I can walk down and cast back out again. So we'll probably be fishing in, I don't know, maybe a couple of meters to begin with, and then as that tide pushes up, we'll be fishing into a bit of deeper water. But yeah, I'm excited. I haven't fished over this side of the island for a long time, so with any luck, we can get into a fish. So yeah, I haven't fished Sandown for absolutely ages. I haven't fished it this year at all. I fished it loads of times last year and I didn't do too badly, to be honest. I had quite a few rays out of here, so we're hoping that is going to be on the cards for tonight. That's certainly what we're going to be targeting. So with that in mind, I am just going to fish to begin with just 2 pulley pennels. A 60 pound 3/0 pulley pennel. It's got a 3/0 circle hook as the pennel hook. And hopefully, if there are rays around, then this should definitely do the business. I'll be fishing with 6 ounce grippers tonight. And while I'm here, I did just want to say thank you ever so much for your support with the online sales. It's been really quite humbling, actually. You've all got really nice comments to say about it, and you've all been really supportive, and you've all bought loads of rigs, which is awesome. So we're trying to keep up with it at the moment. We're doing okay. We certainly haven't got behind. And yeah, we're selling some hoodies and some merch as well, which is great. Please remember that everything that I've got online is also available in Slamfishiow Wight. So if you are on the island, then obviously you can just pop in there and grab it. So tonight, first bait that we've got is, of course, Kraken sea baits, squid. Never go anywhere without a pack of squid. And it's always really, really good quality. I've got some capelins, which I've got left over from my comp the other night. I've got a couple of sand eels that I've got left over from my comp the other night. I've also got a nice new fresh pack, but I've also got a pack of jack herrings. Look like a really nice bait. Certainly I think I can get 2 baits out of each one of those. So predominantly fish baits because we are fishing for rays. If it's slow, I may well chuck out a Pompey loop rig or potentially just a little 2-hook scratching rig. But yeah, we'll see how we get on anyway. So let's get a bait sorted. Everything's in a cool box, so it'll all be kept nice and cold. So I'm going to fish with one of these jack herrings to begin with. There we go, look at that. Lovely. I'm sure you could probably fish with these whole. They're a lovely size. But what I am actually going to do, I think, well no, I am going to do, is I'm going to cut that straight down the middle, essentially turning it into 2 fillets, or butterflying it really, but then I'm going to cut it in half anyway. There we go, so we've got 2 halves of a jack herring there. I might just do both of those baits exactly the same, just chuck them out, and then I'll probably do a capelin. Just want to get a bait in the water, because we were a little late starting as usual. So I'm just going to take a strip of squid exactly the same size as that piece of herring there. Now Nobby's using a big full-size herring tonight. It's one of the lesser sort of popular baits, being that size. So he wanted to just give it a go really and see what it's about. He's also got some capelins and some sand eels. And what I'm going to do, normally I would put this squid on the flesh side, but today, because we're fishing here and it's quite sandy, don't think there's going to be a whole bunch of crabs. Could be completely wrong. In the summer obviously there's loads of spider crabs, but we should be okay tonight. So I'm putting the squid on the skin side to hopefully get a bit more scent out there. I think that's still a decent sized bait. So we've got a nice 3/0, it's a wide mouth hook anyway, so it's got quite a wide gape on it. I mean, to be honest, it's pretty much exactly the same as a 4/0 really. 4/0 Aberdeen, 3/0 wide gape hook, very, very similar, but this has just got a bit of a stronger gauge on it. There we go, and then we're just going to pop our 3/0 in the top of it, stick a lead on and get it out. And there we are. 1 3/0 pulley pennel, all baited up with jack herring and squid. There we go, first one's in. Right, let's quickly get another one baited. We'll get that out as well. And then we're fishing. I think I am going to quickly put a capelin on actually. Put a capelin on the other one. And then we'll go over and have a natter. It's absolutely beautiful out here tonight. I think the weather's supposed to be getting really bad. So yeah, it's a perfect little window really. So it is a bit of a shame that it's really, really quite settled, but again, you can't really alter weather, can you? You can only come out when you can come out. So there we go. So I've just quickly wound up one of those capelins, and then we're just going to put our hook in exactly the same as the last one, just nicked through the top, and then we're basically relying on the bait elastic to hold it in place, which is Tronics Pro Baitex, which I do really, really like. It's made from latex, it's a little bit better for the environment, and it lasts absolutely ages. It looks like I'm putting absolutely stacks on with the amount of turns that I'm doing, but it uses very, very little. Pretty sure I just saw a shooting star. There we go, we'll just pull our baiting tool out, pop that 3/0 circle in the top, and then that one is ready to rock and roll. There we are, one bound up capelin, just head and tailed and then bound on. That tide's just starting to push up already. I've just noticed there's a little bit of a gully to my right, and that's just had a little wave just go up it. So the water is coming in. Like I say, at the moment I'm perched on a bank. If I was to stay here, the water would come in around behind me. And the idea is then, when the tide comes in, we'll actually be fishing on this bank that I'm sat on. And hopefully that's where the fish will come to play. And there we are, we're fishing. Fishing with 2 rods. Yeah, we got out of the van, so it was absolutely Baltic. It was so cold. Now we started moving around a little bit, it's not too bad. So I probably will end up taking my coat off. But yeah, let's just keep our fingers crossed. Feel good, be nice to get a ray. I haven't had one for a few months. I haven't actually been really targeting them too much, but it would be nice to get one. I mean, we're in the place. This is what we're doing tonight. We are completely all out targeting rays until I haven't caught a ray, and then I'll just try and catch anything. Like a whiting or a dogfish. But yeah, let's just see how we got on, shall we? Surprisingly, there's quite a bit of tide out there. They've definitely swung around to the left, which I really wasn't expecting. And so I don't really fish this venue a lot at the best of times, but certainly this year I haven't fished it anyway, so. But I'm gonna get a spare rig sorted out. So I think it's just gonna be another pulley. For a minute, anyway, while we're getting the first part of the flood, I think I'm just gonna hammer out a whole bunch of pulley panels. And then if we haven't got into a fish, like halfway through the session, we're fishing for about 5 hours. Oh, say that, there we go. What was that? Yeah, if we haven't got into a fish, sort of halfway through the session, then I will change it up and I will put a multi-hook rig out there as well, because I do like fishing with 2 hooks. It's just nice to scratch around, really. I don't mind catching the whiting and the pouting. But I'd say there was definitely a nice little tap on that left-hand rod then. They're like tram lines going down there. They're right next to each other. I'm fishing with my braid tonight purely because I know that I've got absolutely acres of it on my spools. And because we're going to be moving back, you know, at some point the cast might actually be out in the water and then I'll move back to leave it at distance. But having all that braid on there, it means I can walk it back and not worry about not having enough line. Look at that. Look at the blood. Hang on. It'd be helpful if it was the right way around, wouldn't it? Look at the blood coming out of those. Lovely and fresh. Don't normally use the jack herons. I normally use, if I'm going to use like a fish bait, I normally use anchovies or sardines. I don't really use mackerel either, unless it's, you know, more in the summer, and then I use the sort of the smaller ones. I never really do very well on them, if I'm honest. Ooh. I think I just had a nice knock then on that rod just as I was walking back. Just recast this one. It was moving a bit in the tide. It was getting a little bit close to the other one, so I wasn't that thrilled about. Now I think I just caught a nice little pull down on that one then. Could be a small whiting having a go. Could be anything really. I'm sure I saw a nice pull down on that one on the way back. Oh, there we go. Well, we're getting some bites, that's for sure. Don't really mind what it is. Just be nice to get the first fish. Looked like a very similar bite to what I was getting on the right hand side, so it could be that there's some small whiting out there. There we go, now it's going a bit better. Yeah. There we go. I think we'll have a look at that. Got this bait Yeah, we've got this bait ready to go. Shall we have a look? See if we got our first fish. This is exciting. Well, if we have, oh, we got something. Don't know what we've got, but we have got something. Well, first fish on the beach, if you can call it that. It's a tiny little strap conger, but it does mean we're not blanking. On the circle, oh, that's actually really quite nice. That's the easiest little conger I've had to unhook, tiny little thing. Let's get it back in, but we're off the mark. Just keeping an eye on that water as it's coming up the side of me there. Oh, that's all right, cool, we've got a fish. As my good friend Mr. Wayne Hand says, we're out fishing and we're catching fish. Right, let's get this one out and see if we can't repeat our success, but with a slightly bigger fish. So, I think I'm gonna have a look at that rod. I've had a couple of knocks on it. And then nothing. And then I reeled in that little strap conger, and I've switched the rods around now because obviously the tide is moving right to left. And I just had another little knock on it, so potentially there's something small on there that's just sitting on there, maybe a small pouting or something like that. So I am going to reel it in. I've got a new bait there ready to go, which is a really nice looking double sand eel. Double sand eel and a squid wrap. There we go, lovely. So, let's have a look. Oh, there we go, he went again then. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look. Let's see what we got. Oh, I knew it. Picked up my other rod. I knew they were close. This is gonna be a pain in the backside. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Just got myself into a bit of a pickle. I thought my lines were a bit close and I thought, do you know what? It's getting a bite on one. I'll pull it in. There was no fish on there, but I did bring in my other rig. And being as I've got braid on, it was a bit of a nightmare. I just spent 5 minutes untangling it, but we did untangle it. So we're all good. We haven't lost any line whatsoever. So I've recast them both. But I did just see that I was getting a little knock on that left-hand side. So, whew. But I am going to make, there we go, went again then, making sure that I'm keeping them very, very far apart from each other. Nobby's just fishing with the one rod. He prefers fishing with one rod, basically says it can take all of his attention, whereas obviously I'm fishing with two, and that's when things like that happen. But that's my inexperience as well, in all fairness. There we go. That looks like it could be another conger, who knows? I don't know why I bother. I have absolutely no idea. I'm guessing strap conger. But it's a bite though, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're going for. Where's Nobby? Is he still down there? Yeah, he's still there. So what I think I'll do before I move is I will probably recast both rods, have a fresh bait ready, move my stuff, or some of my stuff, over the other side of this little gully that we got behind me, and then just leave the rods and the camera down here, and then obviously if we do get into a fish, then we're all ready to go. And if we need to move, we've already got half of it back there. Oh, there you go. A bit better. Just feeling, see if there's a bite before I yank it. And typically, standard. Now I'm holding on to it. I can't feel anything. Let's have a look. I've got fresh bait ready to go anyway. No, nothing. Nothing at all. Should have left it. Ugh. So bad at this game. Right. I think that time has come where I need to start thinking about moving, because that water has come right up. But the trouble is, it's not come up really enough for me to get away with only moving once. But we'll see how we get on anyway. But yeah, you can see the water there. Hopefully you can see the water there. I don't want to look at the camera in case I blind everybody. So I'm going to leave the rods there. I'm going to move some of my gear up there. And I've got a rig ready anyway. I might just perch myself up here a little bit, just move slightly to my left, because the bank does seem to be a bit higher that way, and it will give me a little bit longer fishing down at the bottom here. Ooh, so I've just moved anyway. Well, I've moved way back, but we're getting relatively nice bite there on that rod then. I was just thinking about changing it, to be honest, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait. And because I missed that other bite, I'm also going to wait until I'm pretty confident that it's hooked. There we go. I'm getting a few small bites, so I'm thinking potentially that there could be some whiting out here. So there we go, it's going again. So I think what I might do in a little while is I might chuck out a flapper, just a little scratching rig, and just put some little strips of squid on there, or maybe single sand eels, and just have a little chuck out and see if I can't pick something smaller, and potentially if it's really small whiting or small pouting, then we can use it for bait this time. Right, there we go. As discussed, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop out this little scratching rig. It's only got size 1 hooks on it, but if there's any pouting or whiting out there, then we'll be able to hopefully pick one up. I'm getting lots of small bites, and I think it's obviously small fish. So if there's quite a few out there, it'd be nice to get one, and then we can use it for bait. But yeah, let's give it a go anyway. Let's change the one on the right, and see if we can't entice something to take one of our baits. There we go. Right, we're into something here now. Could just be a conger. Ah, shame. Oh well, like you say, it's a fish. Damn. I was convinced I had something on then. Well, I did have something on. We had a dogfish, but I think it was like hooked on its side, so maybe it was bumping on the sand. But I really thought that we might have actually had a ray on then. It felt weighty, and it was definitely kicking, but it was a dogfish. But anyway, that's all right. It's first fish for a little while, so I've only been fishing for maybe an hour and a half, I guess. But anyway, let's get this one back in and get a fresh bait out there. Couple of knocks then on the right hand rod. Here we go. Want it to hoop right over there. Still there, whatever it is. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, I think I might have missed it. Oh no. Is it? Trouble is, you get the grippers get in the sand here, so that feels heavy, but I don't think it's on. I think it's just the grippers in the sand. Oh, I think I missed that. Oh, I don't know. No, we got it. Oh my God. Well, it's another tiny little strap conger. Tiny, tiny. Bait, I think that's what that one is. It's minute. So we've got 2 pulley pennels out there at the moment. One of them's got a half a jack herring with a piece of squid, and the other one's got 2 small sand eels and a piece of squid. And I just baited up that 2-hook scratching rig with quite biggish baits really. One of them's got a single sand eel and a little bit of squid wrapped on it, and the other one's got a squid head. And the water's coming right up. I'm probably gonna have to move back again in a minute. But I've probably got at least another half an hour, I would have thought. Been fishing for like 2.5 hours, pretty much halfway through the session. And well, although we've had a couple of fish, we haven't quite hit the target. I don't really often come out with a dead set target, but today I really have come out with the intention of trying to catch a ray. But we'll see how we get on. We've got another minimum 2.5 hours to go. Potentially 3, depending on how we're doing. Like I say, in a minute, there's going to be a lot more water in here. I'll be pushed at the back, and I'll be elevated because I'll probably end up fishing right at the top of the bank or even up onto the pavement there. And yeah, hopefully we've still got time to hit the target species. Be lovely to see a ray out of here tonight. But we'll keep plugging away anyway. A couple of little strap congers and a dogfish. But we'll see if we can add to that little tally. Well, 3 hours in and we're basically averaging a fish an hour, which I will take. They're not the biggest, but we'll take them. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move back another little bit. Tide's actually coming up a little bit quicker than I thought. High tide is about 1 o'clock. And I'm tempted to sort of hang around really until there's a lot more water in here. But we'll see. But for a minute, I think I'm going to move back. I can see where the water will stop going, because obviously there's loads of footprints in the sand. And yeah, hopefully then we won't have to move again. It is a bit of a pain. I must admit, one of the reasons why I don't fish here very often is the moving, because it's quite a shallow beach. Moving is not too much a problem, but with all of this other gear, it is a little bit of a pain in the backside. But I do think, I've just said to Nobby that I will be giving it another crack, I think, in a few sessions. We'll have a little move around the island, do some fishing somewhere else, and then we'll probably come back and have another go. But I'm not going to give up just yet. We've still got 2 hours, so I'm going to move my stuff and stop yakking and carry on fishing. There we go. That is the next bait to go out. A nice, pretty looking double sand eel and squid wrap. Oh, come on. It'd be so nice to get a bite now. It's been quiet for a little while, so just need, you know, a little dogfish, pouting, anything really. just to get a little bit more excitement, you know. There we go. Now that is on my lighter rod and I have got braid. So it is going to be slightly exaggerated. But it was a nice looking bite. So it could be a 6-ounce pouting or a 3-ounce strap conger. But we got a bite. Literally was just baiting up and looked up and my rod was bouncing. So we'll leave it a little longer. It is only on a scratching rig. They're quite big baits on the scratching rig for a size 1 hook. But something was definitely having a go. Well, it's gone a few times, but it's not gone as much as I'd like to see it go, really, to know that it's definitely a fish on there. It's been bouncing and bouncing and bouncing, and then it stopped. And then it bounced again, and then that's it, it stopped again. There we go. Right, well, let's bounce it maybe 3 times in the last 4 minutes. So something is pecking at it. I think I'm going to reel it in. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it for another couple of minutes. Next time it bounces, we'll reel it in. What do you reckon? Leave it 2 minutes. There we go. Right, that's it. I'm bringing it in. And I don't think there's anything on there. All of that, and I don't think there's anything on there. I left that for absolutely yonks. Well, whatever was having a go at that must have been absolutely tiny. Because the bait looks pretty intact. But it was clearly getting attacked by something. Come on, there's still time. See, this is what I'm getting. I'm getting little rattles. And I've been getting them on both rods now, which is quite frustrating. There we go. That's a bit of a better pull. I was actually thinking of changing this one over in a minute because it's been out there for probably 25 minutes. Right, I'm just going to leave them both. Let's say we're getting bites on both of them, so let's just leave them, see what happens. Because it seems like I get a nice little bite and then nothing at all. Ben's had the same. Ben's fishing as well. He had a nice bite and then nothing. I'm not too sure about Nobby. I think he's been too interested in eating his kebab. But the fishing is pretty slow. The one thing I do like about fishing though is that it can all change in just one cast. One bait can change the whole session. So at any moment, one of these rods could just hoop over and we could have a nice small-eyed ray, a nice spotted ray, undulate, conger, you know, anything could happen. Or we could just get a tiny little strap conger. Or a dogfish or a pouting. Or nothing. Oh, well, unbelievably, neither of those bites have turned into a fish, or they literally just haven't gone again. They've just completely stopped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebait this one because I've got a 2-hook flapper ready to go out. I'm going to chuck that actually on this one because it's the lighter of the two rods. Chuck the flapper on that, rebait the pulley that's on this one and chuck it out on there, and then that's going to be my last cast of the evening. Fingers crossed we can get lucky like we did the other night in the comp, and get a lucky last fish. I can't believe I was getting bites on these and nothing's happened. But yeah, it was nice to fish that comp. I haven't fished a comp for a while, and it was really nice to get the win. I haven't moved up in the league, but I am definitely snapping at people's heels. Like I say, I've missed 5 anyway, I think 5 or 6 even that I haven't fished. So yeah, so I'm just happy really to fish a few. I've won a few, so as you can see there, I've literally just got some tiny little strips of squid on there, just to see if I can pick up a whiting or a pouting, really. Just something. Thanks, mate.
No, it's all right.
Right, there we go. That is the very last cast that's going out. Nobby's just packing up as well. It's been quite a slow evening for everybody, but I think with it being pretty cold, it's quite late now as well, but it was already baited, so I've got to chuck it out. Let's get this one out, have a quick tidy, and see if we can't winkle out a last fish. We'll drop this one in a bit closer. Over there. Oh, well, I'm last on the beach. I've just stuck it out for an extra sort of 20 minutes just to see if I could try and get that last fish, and well, I couldn't. So I'm going to pack this one away. I've already packed one rod away anyway. I'm going to pack this one away now as well, and that's it, calling it. So yeah, what can I make of this session really? It's the first time I've fished out here for ages. We didn't blank, we caught a couple of fish, but it was hard going. There's 3 of us fishing, and I was the only person that managed to land a fish. So from that side of things, it wasn't too bad really, but I will be popping back at a later date to try it again. I keep looking at my rod just in case it goes. But yeah, anyway, I hope you still enjoyed this video. Thank you ever so much again for all of your support. Thank you to everyone that's purchased rigs and stuff and has had a look online. Don't forget the rigs are also available from Slamfish. And yeah, if you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe and maybe click the notification bell. But until the next one, please take care, stay safe, and maybe I'll see you out there. Cheers.